CSAT. CSAT is very important because, look, CSAT is something that comes as a hurdle for a lot of people because they will clear GS and fail in CSAT. So CSAT is something which you should focus, because UPSC is making CSAT very tough. Very tough as in not extra tough like CAT or something, but it's it's a qualifying paper, right? It's you just need to score 66. But UPSC is not making the question paper like a qualifying paper. They are making it a tough paper which you should have some preparation. The question papers are like that only. So if you are even if you are an engineering graduate, like engineering graduates usually underestimate CSAT, and they sometimes they have to pay a heavy price for it. That happens. Even I am from an engineering background, and the last year CSAT, the 2021 CSAT was a bit tough for me. So I didn't even get time for a time to go for a second round, which I usually do. For a lot of people, it was tough. A lot of people got out just because of CSAT. So to answer your question, if you are from a non-engineering background or a
Yes,
non-maths or non-quant background, then definitely prepare for CSAT.
sir.
There are classes that are provided by some academies. Also, what you can do is you can download the previous year question papers of UPSC, including last year. That is important because CSAT has been changing a lot. Earlier, CSAT used to be very easy as in it was like 12th standard, 12th class standard. It was maths, beat quant. It was very easy, relatively very easy. There will be graph interpretations, there will be statistics interpretations, which can be done logically. You don't need practice for that. You can be done logically. Now those questions are not there. Even the paragraph questions, they just ask a single question for a single paragraph, and you have to go through a lot of paragraphs. Otherwise there will be like one paragraph and 5 questions following that. That is very easy. So what you should do is you should definitely prepare. Even the engineering background students, I would advise them to prepare, because there are many engineering graduates who lose out on just on CSAT. Okay, that is a very bad feeling to have, because GS itself is clear the GS, but CSAT is a very heartbreaking thing to happen. So what you can do is first go through the previous year question papers and assess the change that is happening. Like from 2013-14 CSAT, now the present CSAT is entirely different. Like day and night difference is there. So go through the previous questions also. Also the last 2-3 years questions, you can understand that the last 2-3 years questions were a little bit tougher. In fact, in 2018 prelims they gave a easy question. So it's not like they are giving tough questions every year. In 2018 it was a CSAT question paper was similar to the ones in 2013-14 and all. There were graphs, there were statistic interpretations, and the quant was simple. But in 19 they went back to the tougher one. So anything can come up. So always expect that the CSAT might be tough. And for comprehension, I would say do a lot of practice, because comprehension questions are very confusing. So what you can do is there was a video channel, YouTube channel. I think the name was Race to IAS or something like that. I don't think it's a channel from Kerala. I think it's a North Indian channel. They cover most of the competitive exams, including UPSC. So they also analyze the UPSC CSAT question papers. So what they do is they analyze the UPSC CSAT question papers and they give explanations for the questions. So for quant also and comprehension also, for both quant and comprehension, they gave the answers with explanations. So you can go through those videos and get an idea about how to solve these comprehension questions, because the keywords are apparently important. Like the keywords like what do you call it? Conclusion, or the what are the assumptions made in this paragraph. So assumptions and conclusions are totally different thing. Apparently, I didn't know until I saw a video of them. Like they had made a video and I saw that video. Until then, I didn't know the difference actually. So there are differences in the keywords. So these kind of comprehension questions, like a single paragraph will be there and you have to answer either one question or two questions out of it. So for these questions, they have given some explanations. I think the name is Raised to IAS or something. A lady with a spectacles is taking the classes. Someone must have seen it. I don't know. So you can find similar videos in similar videos online also. Also, some academies also take classes in quant as well as comprehension. It's worth to attend those classes and it's worth preparing for this. Even if you prepare yourself, seeing YouTube videos or getting online help for quant. For quant, you can do preparation like how to find the ratios, how to find the profit, how to find the ratio of work questions will be there, average type questions will be there. So how to do it easily, how to do it quickly, that is the point. How to do it quickly so that you can move on to the next question, you can get better questions. Like how many sides of the cube. So there are like standard questions that comes. There will be always average questions. There will be like questions of like a single question in which two three questions, subsequent questions can ask, relationship questions. So all these questions, if you practice, that will become easy for you. So my way of doing CSAT was doing the quant and logical questions first, because English questions and comprehension questions were so confusing. You will feel like there are multiple answers for it. Even when the key comes, that not the UPSC key, after the exam there will be key put up by institutes. They themselves will be confused which the key is in English comprehension question. But quant, it's not like that. Quant, there will be a definite answer. Also logical questions, there will be a definite answer. So quant and logical questions are the questions in which there will be a definite answer. So I used to do those questions first, and that actually makes your marks safe. Because even after attempting, when you check the key, if you have attempted more in the English or comprehension, you are not really sure if that answer is correct or not, your answer is correct or not. So what I used to do was, I'll go first round only through quant. So these questions will be interspersed. Like there will be one section for quant and logic, then a comprehension will come, set of 5 questions, then the quant will come. So I used to skip all those comprehension, I will not even read it, I'll just skip it and I will go through the quant and logic first. And some question in within quant and logic, you will not know answers for a lot of questions. So what you should do, you should keep in mind is that there will be some complex questions which might take like 2-3 minutes. You might get answer for it, but it's not worth it. So you must make sure that you don't get stuck in 2-3 questions. That happens to many people. Even that has happened to me also in some instances. But try practicing CSAT questions, and keep in mind that you should not get stuck in a single question or 2 questions or 3 questions like that. If you're not getting the answer, and if you're sure that it will take a lot of time, just skip it and go to the next question, because there will be some easy questions, very easy questions, in which you can get the answer in 5-10 seconds. Just reading by reading the question and looking at the options, you will get the answer. So I used to go through first round like that, and then I will go to the comprehension. First round of comprehension. So first round logic and quant I used to go. I will mark the questions in which I'm 100% sure of. Then I will go to comprehension. I will go one round, and comprehension, I think you can mark most of the questions. Only the questions which I'm not completely sure of, I'll leave. I think I'll mark. I think I used to mark all the questions in comprehension. So comprehension, after comprehension one round, I'll used to go to quant and logic once again, and I will attempt those questions which I have left, and I will mark those questions for which answer finding is simple. I will not go for the complex questions. For in the second round of quant and logic, I will go to those questions which I didn't get the answers in first round, and if you put in some, you can get the answers. So this was the logic I used to follow in that. And that is what I said in last attempt, that is in 2021 attempt. I wrote the prelims and I didn't get time to go for the second round of quant. It was that tough actually. In fact, I didn't get enough time to go through the entire comprehension. So that is the strategy I used to do. But you should definitely prepare for CSAT, and you should do the previous year question papers. Also the mock test also. In test series, they give mock test series, they give CSAT tests also. So CSAT tests are the tests that people, so in 1 week there will be a CSAT test. So what people do is they will skip the CSAT test and they'll study for GS. So don't do that. Study for CSAT also. Don't put in a like a I will not say 50-50 effort for GSAT, GS and CSAT. The proportion should be like 80-20 maximum. 20% more than 20% of the time, I don't think you should devote for CSAT. But if you're a person who is really weak in CSAT, quant and comprehension, you should put in more effort. It depends on people, like, and that will improve also. Like if you're putting in efforts, you'll slowly improve. Then you can reduce the time that you are putting in for CSAT. So start now. Like the problem is towards the end, you will not feel like studying for CSAT. You will spend a lot of time for GS only. So whatever preparation that you are trying to do for CSAT, start now. Slowly divide the time so that towards the end, like by the time the prelims is near, you are confident with CSAT.
Okay, sir.
Any
Thank
other
you, sir.
questions?
Sir, what do you suggest to consolidate current affairs at the last moment?
1 second.
Question somebody
Someone
asked.
has actually shared. Yeah. Somebody has actually shared the. 1 second. Okay, someone has actually shared the link for exam. I think this is the same channel. Actually, it's playing ad for me. This is the same channel. Yeah. This was the channel that I was mentioning about. This channel, this is the same channel that I was mentioning about. So in some of their videos, they have explained UPSC comprehension. So you can go through those things. Even quant they have explained. So the question was about consolidating current affairs. So current affairs, what you can do is you should definitely read newspapers every day. Maybe you can skip reading newspapers the last month before prelims, because you will have a lot of study and people will not feel like reading newspapers. Also the last month before prelims, the question from those newspapers will not be there. But you should read newspapers now, every day. Hindu or Indian Express, whatever you are following, read. Only one newspaper is required. Then what you can do is, if you are making notes, make sure those notes are concise. Concise as in very concise. Only just write down facts and stuff. Don't write paragraphs of all these things. It will be very hard for you to even store it. Let alone revising it. Is like storing itself becomes a big issue. So if you are making notes, make it very concise. So if you are only depending upon your notes, just revise those notes. But the problem with that is, the newspapers themselves doesn't cover everything. So going through a current affairs supplement is always good. You don't have to cover multiple supplements. I have seen people going through vision, then going through insights, then going for other current affairs, but that takes up a lot of time and I don't think it's worth it. Especially now UPSC is avoiding these kind of stuff. There was even a rumor that people used to joke that UPSC used to take up vision question papers and vision current affairs and make questions which are not present in those things. So in 2016 and 17, you could just read vision IAS current affairs, monthly current affairs, and go and clear. Because you will get all the current affairs right, because all of them was covered in vision. But now it's not like that. Still, it is good to go through the monthly supplements. Even if you are not doing it now there is only 3 months left, right? So if you have not done it till now, it's not possible for you to start from previous June and go through all the monthly. What you can do is you can go through the PT 365 of vision that they come out with. Or if you're studying in an institute and if you have been following their current affairs material, you can revise that only. That also will work. If it's good, if you're feeling that that is good, then you can go through that. What I used to do was, I used to do different stuff in different prelims. Okay, in first prelims I used to go through monthly current affairs. So from January to June, the from previous January to that year June, I had covered like 1.5 years of monthly current affairs of vision. But that is too much. That is because that I was able to do because I studied only prelims for 6 months. And I don't think that is required also. Just in the next attempts, I never used to do it. I used to go through PT 365 only, and that too not for all subjects. I used to go if there was limited time left, I used to go through science and technology of PT 365. There will be a separate PT 365 for all subjects. There will be one for science and technology, polity, economics. There will be separate PT 365 for everything. So I used to go to science and technology, environment. So these were the two things I used to go to because these are very important, and UPSC usually asks a lot of questions from these two topics based on current affairs only, especially national parks, endangered species, etc. in environment, and genetic technology, all these kind of biotechnology, robotics, artificial intelligence, all these kind of stuff UPSC used to ask from current affairs only in science and technology. So when there was limited time for me, and I was not able to read the monthly current affairs, I used to go to PT365, and in that selectively I used to go to science and technology and environment, and I used to revise that only. I don't think reading all PT365 is necessary if you are regularly reading newspapers and following stuff. For international affairs also you can go, like you can go through the PT365 international affairs and make note of the countries that I mentioned and the place names. UPSC usually asks. Place names are very important, especially the place names which recurrently come in news. For example, Russia Ukraine issue is going on, war is going on right now. The places in Ukraine becomes very important. It's very obvious, people will study that, but still UPSC might ask in a match the following or something. Then there used to be a time when Syria, Iraq was very important, Afghanistan was important. So places from those places were from places from those countries were asked. So you can selectively study. It's not like you should cover from January to June, complete 6 months. It's not like that. It's not perfect. Look, perfectionism doesn't work in UPSC. You can prioritize and study. Even if you are missed out on some things, just be optimistic and go to the topics which are very important. Like prioritize the topics and cover those topics. Those topics might get asked. So that is what you can do. You can go through your own notes or the academy notes or academy current affairs that you, if you have it, or vision. You can go to vision. Other supplements are also there, I guess, but I haven't gone through any. Like insights is there. I think other institutes also, other coaching institutes also have their own materials, but I haven't gone through any of them. I have only gone through vision material, so that's why I'm mentioning vision. And I think vision is enough. Like it makes no sense to go through five materials and stuff, and it's not worth it. You can instead learn GS. You can read Lakshmi Kant an extra time, and that will help you more. And Lakshmi Kant is very important, by the way. Lakshmi Kant, go through Lakshmi Kant multiple times, read Lakshmi Kant. And one thing that you can do is, okay, time is 12:30. So I'll give like some final tips for prelims. So prelims is very factual, right? So something that have helped me, you might find this crazy, but you can do it. Okay. So I used to learn some factual things, and it was not done in a day. It was done in like 2 months. You can still start and finish it by the time of prelims. So UPSC always used to ask international bodies and international indexes and reports. That was a sure question. Last year, I don't think they asked. last to last year also, I don't think they asked, but from 2015-16 they used to ask it every year. Sometimes they used to ask even 2 indexes, like ease of doing business index, logistic index, world hunger index, world hunger report, all these kind of stuff, and bodies, international bodies also. So what I used to do was, I used to study like 50-60 indexes and reports. Okay, you can get it easily in different websites and stuff. What I used to do was, there is a website Clear IAS, right? Who is run by Alex, which is run by Alex. In Clear IAS, they have given a, that is an old list, but I used to go to that list in like 2-3 years back. There is a list of 50 international reports, I guess. So that I used to study. So I used to study like 1 or 2 a day. So you can cover that in 25 days, right? So one day I will study like 2. The next day I will revise those 2 and study 2 new of them. So it's very easy. In 20-25 days you can cover 50 reports, and that might help you. So that is one thing, that is one factual thing that I used to study, and that has really helped me at get like 2-3 questions every prelims. And 2-3 questions in every prelims is like huge. Okay, then I used to study tiger reserves. That is a bit over the top, I know, because but it is just 50 or 51. You can at least go through the names. National parks and wildlife sanctuaries you can't even think of learning, because it's hundreds and hundreds and stuff. So I never used to bother about that. But tiger reserves are just 51 or 52. I think recently they added one, so it will be around 50. It will be below 55 anyway. So there is a official list. I think WLS or something, wildlife something. If you search for the 50 tiger reserves in India, you will get that website. So you can go through it like multiple times. You don't need to by heart each and every one of each and every tiger reserve. But what you can do is, you can go through it every day, or you can go through it like once 2-3 days, once in 2-3 or 4 days. You can go through that, and that will stick in your mind. And just study the place also. Like if you're studying a tiger reserve, just remember the state in which the tiger reserve comes. So tiger reserves is a usually asked question. They won't ask which tiger reserve in which state. Direct questions are usually not asked, but they might include that in a statement. So tiger reserve is something that you can learn. It might sound difficult and crazy, but one tiger reserve a day, it's not too much. Then so these are the things that you can do daily, and at the end of like 2 months you will have covered a lot of stuff. So these are the things that will help you in prelims. Then the things that I used to go through was Ramsar sites and World Heritage sites. Right now there are a lot. When I used to write in 2017 and 18, there were like 26 Ramsar sites only. So I used to study all the Ramsar sites and their locations in India. It was not a big deal. 26 is not a big deal. But I didn't attempt 2020 prelims because I cleared that year. When I attempted 2021, there were like more than 40 Ramsar sites, like all of a sudden. But still, you can go through them. Like I said, 1 or 2 a day is not a big deal. When you are sitting and trying to study Ramsar sites 1 week before prelims, that's a big deal. You will feel like, okay, I'm not going to read this. But right now, that is the things that you can start. So you can make note of these things and study 1 or 2 a day, their locations. So that you can do. Then World Heritage sites. Actually, you can go to UNESCO's website for this, because they have beautifully given a map of India in which all of these World Heritage sites are marked in the Indian map. And that's an interactive map. You can click on it and they will show you the picture and all this stuff. The images stay in your mind better. So it is always better to study the places with the maps, with the location. So you can relatively locate each place and it will better stay in your mind and memory. So World Heritage sites also I used to study. And they ask these questions. May not be directly one question. It will be some statement in some question that helps you to eliminate. So essentially that's a question for you. So that also I used to do. And these are the things that have worked out for me. Probably it will not work out in one prelims. Like everything might not come in one prelims, but one of these essentially used to come. So that you can do. Then the things that I used to by heart like this was these many things: World Heritage Sites and intangible list of cultural. UNESCO has an intangible list of cultural heritage in which like 13 artistic cultural items from India is included, like yoga, Kudiyatam, all these things, Vedic chanting, etc. So all these things, like 13 stuffs are there. So apart from the names, read through the description. So in UNESCO website, they have given all these 13, 14 items, Kumbh Mela, etc. All these 13, 14 items, and they have given a description. So read the name, read the description. There are just 14 stuff, you can easily go through it. So these are the things which might feel crazy and difficult like 2 weeks before prelims. But if you start doing it now, it will help you in prelims. It might help you. It might not even ask, okay? But still, these are the things that UPSC usually asks, and we usually you should look for patterns. Otherwise, it's too random and difficult. So these are the things that might make things easy for you. You might get some benefit out of it, at least for eliminating one option. That itself counts in prelims. Eliminating a single option counts a lot in prelims. So these are the things that you can do. These are the things that I used to do and has helped me a lot, even in attempts in which I have not spent a lot of time. I have tried to go through these factual stuffs far ahead of prelims and revise it. And all these factual stuff, try to read it 2-3 days before prelims, because these are the things that you might forget. So these were the things that I used to revise like 2-3 days before prelims or the last day before prelims. And there are some subjects that you should revise just before prelims. These are modern India, ancient India, because there are some many factual stuff in this, polity, because it is very confusing. And if you have read it like 2 weeks before and have not revised it, some statements might get confusing. So what you can do is these things, factual and conceptual stuff in polity and factual things in history, you can revise 2-3 days before prelims. That will help you. There are some concepts which you might not, we need not even revise, so that you can leave. Factual stuff, rata marna, this things that you should by heart, these things you should revise just before prelims, because these are the things you should revise and just go and vomit in the exam and come back and forget. You will forget after 2-3 days or 1 week, you will forget it. So just before prelims, try to revise all these kind of factual stuff. So that's how prelims and mains is different. Before mains, you need not do that. Before mains, you do the writing practice, you do the history revision, all this stuff. You don't remember or by heart this factual stuff. So before prelims, what you can do is 1 week before prelims, make a timetable or plan it such that you go through or revise these kind of factual stuff. Someone just asked, when is PT365 published? So that is kind of tricky. So Vision PT365 is available for those persons who subscribe to it and attend the class. Otherwise, it is also available probably in some Telegram groups. I don't know, but they publish it like 1 month, at least 40-30 days before prelims. So it comes very close to prelims. That's why it becomes important that you prioritize. That's why I used to prioritize, because it comes like 30-40 days before prelims and you might not get enough time to read all the PT365 topics. So that's why I used to go to science and technology and environment mostly. So that is when it gets published, around 30-40 days before prelims they publish it. Are there any other doubts? Someone has posted the UNESCO link. Yeah, that is regarding India. So in that, this is a very good thing. Like World Heritage sites are there. Then, but where is that intangible cultural thing? That is then different link, I guess. There is a link for, there is also a page for the intangible cultural heritage, like yoga, Kumbh Mela, like these things. You can visit that page also. You can read about it. There will be a short paragraph and there will be a video. Watch that video also. The video is like 3-4 minutes, but you will understand the stuff and you will never forget it. That is the utility of videos. Just watch a 1 or 2 minutes videos of stuff and you will never forget it. You'll be able to write a paragraph on it. You'll be able to write a mains question on it. Okay, so the type of questions that UPSC used to ask for agriculture changed in the sense that in 2014, 15, etc., they used to ask very factual questions like which is the state with highest production of mangoes, which is the state with highest production of rice. This kind of questions, not directly, but implying that. So you needed to know a lot of facts about the cropping patterns, the production patterns, etc. But that changed from 2016. They stopped asking these kind of questions and they started asking current affairs based questions like millets year of millets. So related to current affairs like this import, export, trade, all these kind of stuff. So I used to focus only on current affairs materials. So whatever that comes in current affairs materials and current affairs related questions and news related to agriculture, I used to study. Otherwise, I never used to prepare factual things for agriculture, but it's good to have a basic idea about cropping patterns. That is what I said. We kind of learn about all these things in GS1 and GS3, right? In geography, we study basic stuff about agriculture. In GS3, we learn about the basic cropping patterns of India, like which part produces which crop, which part produces more of which crop. All these things we study, and we study about the general issues in agriculture, the government schemes for agriculture, the government initiatives, programs, then the food security program that is related to agriculture again, the nutrition program. So all these programs and stuff is intricately related to agriculture, and the questions are also related to that. ICDS scheme is related to agriculture. All these things are related to agriculture one way or the other. So that is what I used to do. I used to only take agriculture as a periphery only, and the current affairs preparation and the basic preparation used to cover agriculture for me. If the questions that were asked were still not answerable, I used to use logic. Otherwise, I used to leave it. That was what I used to do. But you should not leave all the agricultural questions because, like you said, many questions were asked in 2020, 2021 also. Some questions asked, I don't specifically remember which question. But agriculture again is a very important area because UPSC asks a lot of questions from agriculture, even prelims and mains. But don't go a lot of actual stuff. Like in India yearbook and other kind of materials, there will be a lot of actual stuff which you can learn in 1 month and all. Don't go for that. Whatever stuff that comes in current affairs, definitely go through it. Also, government schemes and programs related to agriculture, example for promotion of millets, for promotion of nutrition, all these kind of stuff, definitely go through it.
Thank you, sir. That was helpful.
Also, there will be like schemes for promoting irrigation. So that also is important. There are many things that are directly or indirectly related to agriculture because of the issues that we have in agriculture, also the current status of agriculture. So go through all these kind of news that comes up, and that will help you a lot. Also, it helps to go through economic survey. Economic survey sometimes covers facts about agriculture, especially regarding foreign trade. Foreign trade, our stock that FCI has, the issues of FCI. So these things which have covered in economic survey regarding FCI, grain, PDS, etc., have been asked in this 2020 prelims, I guess. 19 also they have asked. So economic survey is a good source. Otherwise, also economics questions also comes from economic survey. So economic survey is a very good source. You can get questions from economic survey. Even if you don't read the complete survey, at least go through the gist or the conclusions. In all chapters, there will be a conclusion and introduction. At least go through those. In all the chapters, there will be a conclusion and an introduction.
Okay, sir.
Or
Thank you.
you could attempt economic survey question papers. Some academies have separate question papers for economic survey. Even if you don't get time to read that, just attempt that question paper. There will be 100 questions, right? So you don't know anything. Some questions you might not know. Some questions you might know. The things that you don't know, study from the key. Do something regarding all the topics. Like, make some effort. Don't leave anything completely. So, any other question?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Sir, if we are only focusing on NCRT and some standard books, can we crack prelim?
Second. One second. Can you repeat your question, please? Sorry.
If you are only focusing on NCRT textbooks from 6 to 12 and some standard books like Lakshmikant and all, if we'll be able to crack prelim within this.
That is a very tricky question because, to be frank, NCRTs alone are not enough. Then you add the standard books. So the standard book, the term itself is very tricky right now because Spectrum used to be a standard book. I would say 2-3 years before, Spectrum used to be a standard book because 95%, I would say 95% of the questions that comes from modern India, you used to be able to answer just by reading Spectrum. Because I never read any standard book for modern history other than Spectrum. Just I used to read Spectrum only, and I was able to answer 9 out of 10 questions most of the time. But now the questions that they ask is different. Like they ask questions which cannot be answered just by reading Spectrum. So that is the issue. Like UPSC has been making the questions very random. It's very hard to predict the questions even in modern India. Otherwise, it was very easy to at least predict that, okay, some questions will come from this topic, some questions come from this area. Now it's not like that. So I would say NCRTs, yeah, it should be your base. You should have a thorough idea about it, and even you get direct questions. Okay, don't underestimate NCRTs. I have seen at least 6-7 direct questions in NCRTs all through these 5 years. Like if you have seen, there was a question in which the cities in India which fall in the same longitude was asked. Like which city falls in the same longitude as Delhi? There was a question. And Bangalore was the answer, but there were many confusing options like Pune, Bangalore, Nagpur, or something like that. I got to the answer after some time, but that was directly mentioned in 7th standard NCRT geography. It's not necessary that they took the question from that book itself, but NCRT do help. In 2016 or 17, there was a question about bodhisattvas, which was taken from 12th standard NCRT. So you get direct questions sometimes you may not get direct questions from NCRTs, but NCRTs is definitely the base. The basic idea and foundation of whatever you learn comes from NCRTs. So NCRTs is very important. Second thing, standard books. As I said, the definition for standard books are changing, but at least for polity, Lakshmikant is the standard book, and that is enough. Don't go for any other book like DD Basu or any other books like that. Just read Lakshmikant and revise it again and again and again. Just eat it and drink it for your breakfast, dinner, and lunch. You will be able to answer most of the questions in polity. At least 90-95% of the questions you will be able to answer just by reading Lakshmikant. But even in polity questions, recently conceptual and philosophical questions are coming, so it will not be directly present in Lakshmikant, but that comes out of the gist of Lakshmikant actually, the gist of constitution, the philosophical questions that they usually ask recently. You can answer from Lakshmikant only, but you might have to do a thinking. That's all. Then the standard books for economics, as I told you, I have never read standard books of economics and other. Like even there is a standard book that is prepared for environment is Shankar IAS environment book. That also I have not read. I used to rely on an academy's old an academy YouTube videos. Like there were some that were given by Roman Saini when he started the channel. So I used to when I was working, I used to rely on those YouTube videos because I never used to have any classes. I couldn't attend classes, so I used to rely on those videos. So like I said, standard books is a very tricky term, but at least get the videos or gist of these standard books. So be it Lakshmikant, be it Shankar IAS Environment, be it Ramesh Singh, whatever it is, at least get a video explanation or a gist of these standard books, because these standard books actually cover the basic stuff, right? So I couldn't like really guarantee you that you will crack the prelims, because there are people who do all this, they cover all this stuff, and they cover even the current affairs, and they still don't clear. Look, I told you, prelims has become tough because of the competition, but if you put in right strategy, you can clear, but that needs practice and a lot of logic and elimination that comes with practice. So practice and the knack that you get from practice is more important than the content that you have. The content is very important. If you have a broad content, if you have a diverse idea about stuff, then that will definitely help you. But even if you don't know a question, you can certainly eliminate a lot of options just by logic and practice. And this logic will also come from practice. I don't know if I adequately answered your question, but yeah, you can crack prelims, but there are other factors also that affects, like current affairs also you have to be thorough, and practice also matters. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, cool. So what I was saying was just be confident. There will be hard days, so you can get past through it. And there will be some aspects in which everybody will be weak in. It's not like everyone is perfect. So if you have confidence issues, just leave it. Like there are many people who have cleared this exam in from worse situations. Trust me, I have seen a lot of people who have cleared this exam from worse situations. So just be confident, just be at most confident yourself that you can clear this exam, and just give your best, and just understand that this exam is not your life. Even if you don't clear this exam, nothing is going to happen to you. You might be better suited in some other field. That is what. So this, don't take this as your life and life goal. This is just another exam, and take it as an exam. That's why syllabus and question papers are important. This is not a test of knowledge and stuff. This is just an exam which tests some aspects of your personality, and your test the person as you are, the strength of your character, the strength of your perseverance, etc., the confidence that you have, etc. So this is, take it as an exam only, and just give your best shot. Even if you don't clear it, move on. If you are going to try again, you can try it again as a better person, because you will have learned from your mistakes and failures. If you are going to move on, you will take away a lot of experience from this venture. So just give your best shot, and be happy with it. That's it. So once again, really happy to be here. All the very best to everyone. Like don't be tensed. Like don't worry too much about the process, because just understand that it's difficult for everyone. It's not easy for anyone. It's a very difficult process. It's supposed to be difficult, and you are expected to come out of it. So just be patient and perseverant. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. So all the very best to every one of you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So I think we can conclude this session. Hope I can meet you again someplace sometime again.